So today we are making a video on the Parch Linux. So here is the boot menu. So I downloaded the latest version of the Parch Linux. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. And I'm running it on a virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of hard disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5-1240p. And there will be some mistakes and misspeaking throughout the video because I'm going to keep the video as raw as possible. So try to ignore all those things. And the booting process will take like a 2 or 3 minutes. Usually in my PC it will take like a 2 or 3 minutes to boot up the desktop layout. So let's wait and see how much of time it consumes. I'm going to mention as soon as the desktop layout loads. So let's wait and see. So here is our desktop layout. It took almost 3 minutes to load up the desktop. So I'm going to close these applications. So instead of closing all those things, let me first open the system monitor and see how much of resources it's consuming. So I'm not going to change the display settings first because I don't want to touch anything. I want to see the exact system resource consuming without touching anything. So we have our your home folder is running out of disk space. You have 197 MB remaining. So it's almost a 1.7 GB of RAM and CPU is almost 50%. Again, the KDE Plasma version desktop environment with the 6.1 version or the 6.1 edition is consuming a lot of CPU for some reason. I tried most of the KDE Plasma desktop environment with that specific version, and I always has like a issue with the CPU. So let's first change the display settings. So these are all the base memory or the as soon as you boot up the Linux distro or the Parch Linux distro, these are all the resources you will be seeing, and these are all the applications running. So let's check the applications. So these are all the applications will be running in the beginning, and history, as you can see, the CPU, RAM, and all those things. So process should be running this much. So again, there is a bit of lag while using this KDE Plasma desktop environment. So there is also other desktop environment available in the Parch Linux. I'm going to show everything as soon as this is completed. So these are all the process running, and I'm going to put the system monitor in the right side corner. So let's see all the process first. So I'm going to keep the overview. Keep an eye on the CPU and RAM. So let me keep it in the right side corner. So you get the welcome center when you start up. So you already saw the welcome screen, all the changes and all those things. So let me close this thing also. Click on next. Here you get the finish, and the welcome screen of the Parch Linux will be here, which is installation. You can see the dark or the light theme of the installation. So I'm going to close it. So we wanted the browser to be open, but it automatically opened. So I'm going to keep it like that. Let's check the version of the Firefox web browser. The version you get is a 128.0, and as you can see, it's almost a 2.1 GB. So I don't think it's a lightweight Linux distro. So let's type in about support and hit enter. Distribution ID Parch Linux, and the kernel you get is a 6.9.8. so there is some information here. Let me show you. So I want to show every information. So the host name is Parch ISO, desktop environment KDE Plasma 6.1.2, and the Qt version you get is a 6.7.2. frameworks you get is a 6.3.0. so let's keep it on the side. So you can just read everything here, like a build ID, Firefox version, the operating system theme. So there will be some distro information and some browser information here. You can just pause the video and read everything, like a web renderer, some other information like this one. Scroll it down. and you should be seeing window protocol. It says VLAN, the desktop environment, KDE, and the resolution 1920 into 1080. So you get some information here. You can just pause the video and read everything. So let's go to the official website by typing the search term Parch Linux. Hit enter. So this is the official website, or else you can directly type in like a parchlinux.com. So there will be some information here. So let me make the Firefox web browser bigger so you can see properly everything. So here you can go to the blog for some information. So let me first show you the July release. So I downloaded the July release. Let me click on the release. So what's new? The release contains some new changes to Parch Linux family. So you get the Plasma version with 6.1.1 with a new package management module called Parch Meta Package. This would provide a easier dependency management on Parch Linux variants. Also, the SDDM is now has the Breeze theme by default. So when you scroll it down, you should be also getting the GNOME version information. So OEM Linux distribution, because we moved the user creation from calamares to after installation. So here is some of the information and also the video of the GNOME desktop edition of the Parch Linux. Here are some more changes. So the calamares is now updated to version 3.3.7, which fixed some issues for non-Latin languages like a Persian or the Arabic. And also we are working on a net installer version, which users can choose and install the software on their Parch machine. So they're going to be adding some net installers. So also you should be getting the both the desktop environment right here, the KDE Plasma version or the GNOME version. So the KDE Plasma is almost consuming 2.2 GB and CPU has some issues of 6.1.1 version. So it's clearly up to you to choose whatever version you want. Before that, you can just get all the information right here, like what is Parch Linux and what does it does. So you can read everything on your own just by going to their official website, or you can just pause the video and read everything here instead of switching the tabs or going and all those things. So when you click on download, you should be getting a 2 desktop environment, which is a KDE Plasma, and the other one is Parch Linux GNOME developer build. You can apply now. So I downloaded the KDE Plasma version, so let me click on download now. And here is our download. I'm using a VPN, so there is a bit of slow here. So the file size is around 2.7 GB for the KDE Plasma version. So let's check the GNOME version also. Let's click on download and let's see how much of it's 2.4 GB and the KDE Plasma version is 2.7 GB. So that was the downloading process and some information from the browser. So let's close it. So let's open the console and type in some commands. So you get the b-top++ also. Let's open the console. So let me keep it on the left side so you can see properly. Let's check the version of the console. Help about console. So you get the 24.05.2. Let me type in neofetch. So you get the host kernel, uptime is almost 11 minutes, packages are 1230 pacman, shell bash 5.2.6, and it's a VLAN theme. Here is my CPU and the RAM consumption. So let me type in inxi. Hit enter. So command not found, no problem. Cat /etc/issue. So it says as a Parch Linux. So you saw all the information here. So let me exit this thing, or else you can just type in htstub. So htstub command not found. So let me close this. Let's open the installer by double clicking. So this will start the program install Parch Linux. If you do not trust this program, click cancel. I'm going to click on continue. So it's almost a 1.7 1.8 GB of RAM. So the installer took completely on the full screen. So it's a Parch Linux rolling installer. Let's try to make it smaller. I don't think it's going to be smaller. So let's try to choose the language. So there are a lot of languages available here. I'm choosing the English or American English. Click on next, choose your map or the location. You can choose the map or you can choose the drop down menu here. And the system languages will be set to American English, United States. If you want to customize, go to change and customize according to your wish. The numbers and date locales will be set to American English, United States. Again, same thing, if you want to customize, you can customize according to your wish. Click on next. Here you can choose your keyboard. Automatically it will be choosing the default keyboard, and I'm going to keep the default keyboard. So here choose your language or the keyboard model or the keyboard language, and I'm choosing the default one. You can choose whatever you want. You can type here to test your keyboard. If you want to switch your keyboard, you can do that also. Click on next. Here you need to choose your hard disk. If you have a multiple hard disk, you can choose the specific hard disk here. But if you have a single hard disk, choose the hard disk, or it automatically choose that one. So in this case, I'm choosing the virtual disk because I'm running it on a VMware or the virtual machine. So you should be having two options. If you are a pro user, already a Linux user, you don't need to watch this part. You can just skip this part. But if you are a new user or a new Linux comer, so basically this option is erase disk is it's going to delete the current operating system or whatever the files available in the selected hard disk. It's going to erase everything and it's going to install the Parch Linux on that specific hard disk or a virtual disk. And here are some options to customize. And the manual partitioning is like you need to create a partition before choosing this option, and you should be installed on that specific partition. You should be available in that option here. So you should be having a dual operating system or the dual boot options in your boot menu. So one will be the current operating system and the other will be the Parch Linux. So that's the installation process. So if you want to encrypt your system, you can provide the password, which should be same in both the boxes. If you don't want, just keep it like this, uncheck it. And the bootloader location, the default will be master boot record of specific hard disk. And if you want system partition, you can do that, or else you can do not install a bootloader. You can do that later if you know how to do that. So if you don't know the installation process of installing in the hard disk or a virtual disk, you need to watch like a short tutorials of installation of a specific Linux distro, or basically you can just type in like a Linux distro installation on the virtual disk or hard disk in the YouTube. You should be seeing like a 4 to 5 videos and you should be good with the installation. I already have a lot of tutorials in my channel, but they are lengthy, like a 25-30 minutes lengthy, because I'll be covering almost everything in that specific Linux distro. So that will be lengthy and it will be boring just to watch all those things. So it's better to watch like a 4 to 5 videos in the YouTube, which will be short, like a 2 or 3 minutes, and you should be getting all the information of installation. So when you click on next, you should be getting a user account creation, like same thing in every operating system. So there is nothing complicated in installation the Linux distro. So let me type in random things. 9to5 Linux, my name, and what name do you want to use to log in? So you can't use the numericals first, you need to add like alphabets first. I'm going to choose the unboxing. What is the name of this computer? I'm going to keep it like this, or else you can change whatever you want. And choose a password to keep your account safe. Choose whatever password you like. Try to remember the password, or you can just save it in your phone. So the password fails the dictionary check because I choose the simple password 126. So that's the reason. You can choose or uncheck this button, require strong password. It's going to say whether the password is strong or not. Log in automatically without asking for the password. It's clearly up to you how to customize. I'm going to click on next. So here is the summary of whatever you chose in the previous installation steps. So if everything is going good, you can just click on install. But if anything is wrong here, you can just go back and correct all those things, whatever you want. So the installation, when you click on install, it's going to take like a 20-25 minutes. Depends on the PC and depends on the ISO file, whether the ISO file is stable or not. And also depends on the PC. If you have a high-end PC, it should be very quick. But if you have a low-end PC, it should be a bit more there. So and also the beta version or the development ISO files will be sometimes installation getting failed. So you should be getting those pop-ups. Most of the cases everything will be going good, but sometimes if it's a beta version or a development version, sometimes it will be giving you a pop-up of installation failed. So it's clearly up to you. It's better to choose like a previous version, or you can just wait for the stable version. So that was the installation process, and I don't want to install because I need to make another video. So let's close the installation. So what else we left is, so you pretty much get the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So there is no other than some updates. Let's check the updates. So here you should be seeing some fetching updates. So let's check what are the applications you get pre-installed from the Parch Linux KDE Plasma desktop environment. You get the beta and a calculator and the installer. And what else we left here? I think this one, which is called like a KRDP. I don't think it's from the KDE Plasma. It should be from Parch Linux. I don't really know. Usually I don't see this type of applications in the KDE Plasma desktop environment. And also you should be getting some managed printing. I don't think also. So MarkNote is given from the Parch Linux, and some other applications which are Meruko contacts and calendars are added, should be added from the Parch Linux. And NeoChat should be added from the KDE Plasma. So basically you get all those things from the KDE Plasma desktop environment, and also the from Parch Linux, which is Reflector Simple, which is a simple GUI for Reflector. So that's it. You don't get any bloatware or anything, just weather app and welcome screen. So you don't get any bloatware applications other than some applications added from the Parch Linux, and most of them are from the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So you get the basic desktop environment or the basic bloatware-less Linux distro. I don't know what will be available in the Gnome desktop environment, but if you want to check that out, there are a lot of videos in my channel which I already made a lot of videos on the Parch Linux Gnome desktop environment. You can search in my channel. So let's get back to the updates. So these are all the updates you should be seeing. So the file size is around 1 GB, just a 5 MB difference. So you should be getting 1 GB of updates here. If you want, you can update. So I downloaded the ISO file today, but the ISO file should be released on the a few days ago, or maybe a week or 2 weeks. So that's the reason we should be getting this much of updates. So about, here is the about, here is the settings, installed. So installed will be here, and also the home will be right here. So I think there is nothing to show here, just some latest release, other than not a major changes in the latest version, just the basic things which I already showed or mentioned in the official website. I showed everything. So let's go to the settings and check some things and end the video, because this is not a major release or something like that. It's just a July release, July ISO file. So you should be seeing everything similar here, just some things like a breeze theme. Other than that, there is nothing change here. So you get the same text and font, nothing change in the text and font. And Thunderbolt, display and monitor are same, there is nothing change in this. Mouse and touchpad you can customize according to your wish. So I think I need to end the video here because of there is no major changes, so that's the reason I'm going to end the video here. If there was some major changes, I would have showed everything, so it will be a waste of time. And also I can't make a stress test because there is no such application which consumes a bit of resources to see whether this Linux distro will handle day-to-day task by opening a few applications, like 10 to 15 applications, whether we see a crash or anything like that. So we already have a issue with the KDE Plasma 6.1 version because of the CPU high consumption, and also without opening much of applications, we already seeing 1.9 GB of RAM. It almost crossed like a 2 GB, 2.1 GB. So CPU is not pretty much stable and RAM is almost a bit of high. I don't know how the GNOME desktop environment will be performing, but if you want to see the GNOME desktop environment of the Parch Linux, do let me know in the comment section. I'll be making that video, so you should be comparing both those desktop environment, and you can choose whatever desktop environment you want to install. So I think I'm going to end the video here. At the end of the video, these are the applications running. Here is the history. As you can see, there is no stable graph in the CPU. The RAM is pretty much good, but the graph of a CPU is not stable. So these are all the process running throughout the video or end of the video. So let me close it. So let's check the version of the file manager. So here is the file system. You can view the file system and you can change the customization of file manager. And the version you should be getting 2.4.05.2. Almost every KDE Plasma desktop environment version will be same. So I'm going to end the video here. Before that, let's check the logout screen and see there is any changes in the logout screen. So my point of view or my final thoughts on this Linux distro, everything was working fine. Just because of the CPU, there was a minor hiccups here and there. So there was no major lag. And also the sessions you get is a Plasma Wayland and a Plasma X11. So we ran it on the Wayland. So this is the logout screen. There is nothing here. And the password should be, let's try the live user. So the password is the live user and it automatically whenever you log it out, and you just need to type in like a live user and you should be logged in. So you should be seeing the Parch Linux again. So I'm going to end the video here. So do let me know in the comment section if you want the GNOME desktop environment. I'm going to make it. So there is already a video available because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it after watching this video. And also if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out.